Welcome to People Are Everything, the show where I ask my guests, who are the 5 people that have shaped the person you are today? And today we have Prune Allain. I hope I pronounced that properly, Prune. I've been practicing. Prune is from France, as you'll soon come to hear from her beautiful accent. She's an incredible fashion designer, so committed to her craft, very, very, unique and sort of, I've never seen somebody innovate the way she does, and how she takes her fabrics in particular extremely seriously. So she makes wonderful garments, and yeah, an absolute delight to talk to. And yeah, a beautiful accent. I love the French accent. I hope you do too. So this is Prune Allain. Please enjoy. Hello, Prune. Welcome to People Are Everything. How are you today?
Hello, Julia. Thanks for having me on your podcast. I'm very well. What about you? How are you today?
Oh, listen to that voice. I could listen to that all day, Prune. I mean, first of all, I should try and get your name pronounced correctly, shouldn't I? Because I know it's Prune, and the Brits would call it Prune, but I'm pretty sure the French say something else. What is it?
In French, the translation is plum. It's also kind of unusual in France. It's kind of an unusual name.
But how do you pronounce it? How would you pronounce it?
The French way you would say prune.
Prune. I'll try. I'm going to give that a go. You can give me marks out of 10 at the end. See how I've done.
But it's already giving you 10 out of 10.
Oh, well done you. Well, Prune. Listen, first of all, just so excited to have you here. We know, well, we're mutual friends, but we didn't know we were mutual friends of Jasper Reed. We didn't know that because we met at some kind of networking event, and I remember we just made a beeline for each other and started chatting. And I'm not a big fan of networking events, I'll be honest. I go to the occasional one that's like, I don't know, makes me feel like I might meet some interesting people. And there you were. So you're one of those rare people that I actually spoke to at a networking event and followed up with. So it was a pleasure to meet you. And then you said, after you'd listened to People Are Everything, oh my goodness, I know Jasper Reed. So the interconnectedness of the universe again just astounds me. I'm always meeting people that I've only a few steps away from someone else. So that's how we met. And I know that what little I don't know, we chatted about, we have a mutual love of India. I am certainly no fashionista, so I'm not expecting to know anything about fashion, but I can definitely talk to you about India. But let's start with telling everybody here who you are and what you do, so we can weave in excuse the pun on the fashion thing there, but weave in your story about fashion and India and how this all came to be.
I guess you're a very curious person. Jasper is also a very curious, international, talkative person. I think the three of us have that kind of vibe. So maybe we were meant to be in touch, the three of us, and this connection was through India. Indeed, that's interesting. But it was a pleasure to meet you the first time and straight away to hear about your work. And I love to talk about what I do. So thanks for offering me this opportunity.
Well, let's get into what you do. Actually, know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just have some bit of fun at your expense. You are my first guest who has done a trial run with their own children, to make sure that they're fully ready for this conversation. And I just love that. I love it. I can just picture you. How old are your children?
So I have a 14-year-old boy. His name is Joseph, and I have an 8-year-old boy. His name is Alfred. And they are both bilingual kids, which explain why I did a trial with them. And I apologize already for my strong accent.
I love your accent. I think everybody else is going to love it too. It just warms my heart, this idea of you going, right, guys, I've got this conversation with Julia in a minute. Can I just practice a few things? I just love that. It really warms my heart. But listen, can you just give us a flavour of the work that you do? and just a bit about who you are.
Sure. So my name is Prune, and I'm the founder of a fashion brand called Mademoiselle Prune. I launched this fashion line 2 years ago while I was living in New Delhi in India. I lived there for almost 4 years, and I'm actually wearing today one of my piece. So I make unique jackets in an heritage textile called Kantha. It's spelled Kantha, which is a traditional stitching technique coming from South Asia. And I go to Rajasthan and I source and curate by myself pieces one by one. And then I go back to Delhi, where my workshop is based, where I turn each pieces of Kantha into one unique jacket. And we're going to have, through this interview, the opportunity to talk about the workshop that helps me with my design. But the story starts back to India 2 years ago.
It's incredible. And so every single piece you make is unique, is uniquely sourced in terms of the material and uniquely designed by you. And what kind of client base do you have? Do people come to you from a business background or just sort of casual wear? What kind of clients do you have that want these pieces?
So what amazed me is very quickly I started to wear my own line, and very quickly I had so many different people around me in my network asking about my design, and that's actually how I started to work on it and trade it. So I have a lot of international clients, American, South Korean, Japanese, British, French as well, and what has been interesting through this business journey is to see that the level and what's interest the client is the story behind the brand, the fact that it's extremely sustainable, and it also has this kind of cool and soft vibe. And among my clients, I have a lot of diplomats, journalists, lawyers, magistrates, ladies working in accounting or in banking. So at the beginning, I would also try to adapt and listen to their feedback, and I would do maybe shorter jackets with buttons, something slightly more formal for them to wear while they go to a business meeting. But I think what makes things special is the uniqueness of the piece that you will be wearing. And it's what I hear from them is they always have questions from people while they are wearing the piece. The client always said, I receive so many compliments and questions. So that makes me very happy to have, even after I say goodbye to each pieces, when the client has purchased it, to hear sometimes the follow-up of the life of the collection.
I love that. And it's almost like, it's a French word, isn't it? Provenance. It's the provenance of the piece that you can tell a story around it. When somebody buys it, there's a story to tell. You can probably even name the person that made the stitches in the first place of that particular sheet. So, it's like, it's a wearable story. Let's put it that way. When people buy something that you've made. And I really love that idea. And I've seen some of your pieces. Some are very tailored, and I can see very smart business women with maybe, tailored trousers with this beautiful coloured structured top. And then there's also this really comfortable, almost like an oversized look that people wear. Beautiful colours. And, I've spent a lot of time in India. And one of the things I love most about it is the colours. That it's just a colourful country. You come back to England, and beautiful as it is here, the colours just don't compare. So you're kind of walking around with a bit of India on you, and I like that very much. Good. Well, listen, I know there's going to be more to talk about, before we get into the 5 people that you've chosen today, how was it for you finding or choosing the 5? I always like to ask my guests this because everyone says something different. How did you find it?
I found it very fun.
Oh.
And for me, very natural. And I knew I put those names very quickly on the list, and I knew exactly why, and it makes sense for me straight away. I knew it would be a woman with an international profile.
Wonderful. Oh, okay. Intriguing. Okay, so it was fun and it came to you quite easily. Okay, let's see. Well, why don't we just get started then? Who is number 1 on your list?
So first of all, I'm very happy because now I can hear you very well, so it makes me relax. And what's nice is to start talking about people that I love. It makes me even more relaxed to carry on this conversation. And the first person I wanted to talk about is my friend, Liane de Bassompierre. And although her name sounds French, her last name sounds French, she's from South Africa. She's my friend from Cape Town. Her last name sounds French because she's a baroness. Also, she doesn't mention it. I know it almost like as a secret, but I love these details. I guess after living so many years in the United Kingdom, where there's a royal family, but for me, she's really like my African queen. She's married to a Belgian diplomat, and I met her in New Delhi 2 years ago, and she's part of my beautiful journey and experience in India. Liane, she's a journalist. She has a focus on African business, politics, and development, and she has very diverse experiences, including working with different media outlets. She's involved in international journalism. She does conferences. So she's coming from Cape Town, and she's a marathoner. She's a runner.
Okay.
And the way we met was funny. We met one day during a presentation at a cultural association called 7 Cities. I was a mentor. I was mentoring groups for this cultural organization. I used to with them to organize a tour for foreigners, a tour of the city of New Delhi. And for 3 seasons, after being myself a participant, I wanted to give back to this community, and I committed to have teams of expats to organize those cultural activities in the capital, in New Delhi. And at the beginning of the season, everybody would introduce themselves, and Liane would take the microphone, and she would say at the end of her presentation, "Oh, and by the way, I'm a marathoner. I'm training for the New Delhi Marathon. Please reach out if you want to join me and 2 of my other running girlfriends on Sunday mornings for training." And that's how the story begins. And that's how the friendship, but much more came from that, because since that, a lot of happened. Because we started to run all together every week, and we started with this group of friends. There was me coming from France, Liane coming from South Africa, but there was also Karina and Stacy, who are American, coming from Washington. And we would start a train to race the New Delhi half marathon.
That's extraordinary.
And once we finished the Delhi half marathon, we look at each other and we're just, okay, what's next, girl? And then Liane said to us, "I really want to show you my hometown. Let's register for the Cape Town Marathon." And that's how a few months later, the four of us, we ran the Cape Town Marathon, and that was how my first time in South Africa, and that's how I did this. For me, that was the best experience ever. My very first marathon in Africa. But more came to that, because since that there was this strong friendship, and it was the story began only less than 2 years ago. But since that, we not only ran the Cape Town Marathon, but very recently we also gathered in Istanbul, and we ran the Istanbul Marathon, which was my second marathon. And all that thanks to Liane, who has always been an inspiration and a leader for that group.
Amazing. I mean, can I just jump in there, because there's so much I want to ask you. First of all, I've never met anybody who knows a baroness, let alone an actual baroness. So well done for connecting with Liane. And also, what I'm loving is this idea of these women coming together in, a foreign land for everybody, and running the Delhi half marathon. Now, anybody who's lived in India will know that running anywhere, like running down the street, if you're late for something, it's exhausting because it's so hot and dusty, and in some parts of the year, incredibly humid. I used to get heat stroke when I used to walk from my office to my home, which was only about 10 minutes walk. I could easily get heat stroke if I didn't think about the sun too much. So the fact you run a half marathon inside, and in Delhi is extraordinary. And then to take that to Cape Town, it's only just occurred to me why people love marathons so much, because you get to travel to all these incredible places with a sense of purpose and a massive sense of achievement when you complete it. And I also imagine it's extremely bonding. There's something about difficulty, isn't there? When things are difficult, they bond you together. And I can't imagine how difficult it is to run a marathon. I can't even run to the shops and back. I really can't. I can swim. If there was a pool that took me to the shops and back, happy days. But no, not running. I've always been so impressed with people who can run. So, and she sounds really kind of, I suppose, somebody who brings people together and a connector. And I like people like that. So you're very fortunate to have met each other. And sounds like you've got such a deep bond within 2 years of knowing each other, which is amazing.
Yes, absolutely. And when I ran, I always wanted to run for a cause, and I wanted to support a NGO, a non-governmental organization that I discovered in New Delhi, and that's how everything in life is so intertwined and connected, because I started to run in support of an NGO called SSMI, and that would lead me to my second inspiring person, and that's how everything happened as well for my brand and for my collection, and everything is connected.
Brilliant. Well, a brilliant segue. Come on then, let's talk about the second one, number 2.
So my number 2, her name is Miss Sunita Basin, and she lives in New Delhi, and she's Indian. And Sunita, she has dedicated over 3 decades of her life to empower marginalized women and underprivileged children through her role as the director of the Swami Sivananda Memorial Institute. So it's this NGO called SSMI, which is based in the north of New Delhi. She works on training, on employment programs, and she aimed at fostering financial independence and dignity for the community that she's welcoming at the NGO. So at SSMI, the story is that I started to support them every time I would run. I would try to raise money and to get them some awareness about their work, and they knew that I was a fashion designer, and at first they would do some. One of the lady artisan at the NGO would do some embellishment on my jackets, but very quickly Miss Sunita came to me and said, "We are looking for more designers. We need people to give work to the lady who are part of the workshop. Would you be interested in working more closely with us on this aspect of things?" And I said, "Yes, of course." So very quickly, I gave 100% of my production to the workshop and to this NGO, and they would make my embroidery work on top of the embellishment for every pieces of my fashion brand. So SSMI, it's a beautiful NGO. Miss Sunita, she's there. It's always interesting to talk with her because she's such an inspiration. She's aiming to empower through education and develop skills for the community. She really wants to help women and their children. So the kids, there's a school at the NGO. So the mom would be at the workshop, and the kids would be at the same time at the school receiving an education. Of course, they receive fair wages, but on top of that, she's really trying to help them to become independent. If they want to launch a small business, she would also try to motivate and help them to do that. And they have a very holistic community approach because they just don't address one issue. They work as well on health, nutrition. So she really has an impact. And she's very thoughtful and compassionate. So for me, this organization embodies a legacy of humanitarian service, and I'm very proud to be connected and associated with Sunita and with a beautiful NGO.
That's amazing, and again, another part of the story of your clothing. Back to the provenance thing again. That it isn't just a jacket. You know, this jacket is empowering women and children. You know, children to have the education, women to have, you know, their own income and independence, like you say. And Miss Sunita, I mean, I'd love to know her story. What's her background? How did she set this up? What was her motivation and reason for starting this?
So I think she launched she has been in charge for more than 30 years of the NGO. I could ask her what was her background before that, but she dedicated her entire working life to that, and she has a very strong opinion about how to elevate life.
Well, as you know, I've spent a lot of time in India myself, and you know, it's always struck me how many people I met who have this dedication to making things better for people. And it's, you know, like you say, they dedicate extraordinary amounts of time, money, you know, expertise to help, you know, what essentially are complete strangers. And it's very heartwarming. And as I say, just kind of further adds so much depth and interest to your clothing. It's like, as I say, it's much more than just a jacket. So that's really brilliant. I like the sound of that, and I love the sound of your involvement. You clearly sound super passionate about it. And I suppose, you know, keeps you fit as well, Prune. because you're running around the place, kind of doing all these marathons to raise money for such worthy causes. So everyone's winning, which is good. All right, well, let's go on to number 3 then. Who's number 3?
My number 3 is also one of my friends. Her name is Adi. She's from Tel Aviv in Israel, and she has launched Dida Fitness. I know we talked about fitness during our last conversation, you and I. So it's important we keep healthy. Adi, when she launched Dida Fitness, she really wanted to dedicate herself to help women over 40 with their fitness. And she would offer short 20 minutes workout, especially designed for women over 40. I also met her in New Delhi in India, and when she launched her fitness program, I was also launching the collection. And what amazed me is how Adi would be dedicated to her community, because very quickly, when she was doing those classes and lessons every morning, she would have around her Japanese, American, South Korean, Indian, British ladies over 40 attending her classes. And we, in a way, decided to build up our business at the same time. And what amazed me is to see someone who's capable of giving so much. And at the same time, I was looking at her work, helping people to improve their strength, their heart health, their flexibility, and to give back, to receive back, to receive back so much from our community. And I would look at that, and then for me, I realized, but this is the same happening as well to me in a very different way, because I would make clothes, but that's how we had this connection and synergy together. So at the moment, I miss her. I haven't seen her for a long time, and I know she's settling back to New Delhi. So if among your listener there's anybody living in India or India time, I would encourage them to join her session, because she's so generous, and the work she does, it's those are very balanced workouts, cardio to get your heart pumping, with a mix of yoga and meditation as well. Sometimes she would also have a guest, so she would have dancer for Bhangra, those dance cardio dance from India. So all this mix would have helped her community to feel strong and healthy.
Lovely. What's the name of it again? What's the name of the gym?
Adi and Dida Fitness.
Dida. D-I-D-A.
D-I-D-A. Yes. No, my way. She's such a generous, and she gives so much. So I really wanted to have her as well in my top 5.
Brilliant. Well, we've just promoted Dida Fitness. And I think it's really good. Well, 2 things that struck me when you were speaking. One is the international nature of it. Imagine all these different women from so many different backgrounds, all sharing the same space. I just love that idea. And the other thing is, just how it's focused to over 40s. I think I'm in my mid-50s now, and it's so different. The things you need when you're older in terms of what you need to keep fit is so different to when you're in your 20s and 30s. I'm a lifelong kind of, I don't know, fidget. Let's call it that. I love to do sports and exercise and things because I just love movement and doing stuff. But I find as I get older, you've got to really tailor it to how your body is changing. And in the 40s, like a lot's going on for us girls. We've got the power of menopause and all that going off. So it's important that we look after each other and ourselves. And then the last bit I wanted to say was how much fun Bhangra is. Have you ever been to a Bhangra concert or gig and just danced. It's one of the most fun dancing you can do. It's just joyous.
Yes, absolutely. So I know there are some many famous artists, but I've never been to a gig. But at her gym, we would have some professional dancer coming and doing a class for us, which was just very popular. Everybody would come, and that was so very, very amazing, good, brilliant souvenir memories for me.
Those I love seeing those videos on wherever, just of people, men actually learning a Bhangra dance before a wedding or as part of the wedding service. You've seen these videos, and it's just so, I don't know. I find the whole thing so, like, I just want to get involved. I just want to stand in line with all of them and do the same moves. So to me, it's one of the most enjoyable kind of public dancing you can do. So I can totally picture that. Well, all right. Good old Addie and Dida Fitness. Let's all get involved. All right. Who's number 4 then, Prune?
My number 4 is also a very sporty person. I don't know her. And you let me know if you heard about her. She's kind of famous in France, but I don't know if internationally she's famous. But I really, really admire her the entire last winter. Her name is Violette d'Orange. She's a 23 years old French sailor, and she's been she's well known in France for remarkable achievements and inspiring journey in the world of sailing. Because she was the youngest to compete the Vendée Globe. Alors, Vendée Globe, it's a solo, non-stop, around the world sailing race with no assistance, and it's held every 4 years. So it starts from the northwest part of France in a place called Vendée, and the boat sails down the Atlantic across Cape of Good Hope, then Cape Horn, and then back up the Atlantic. And this race, it's considered the toughest sailing race, as you can imagine, due to extreme weather, the isolation. And it's about 24,000 nautical miles. So Violette d'Orange, last February, she became the youngest sailor ever to finish the Vendée Globe.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
This solo around the world race, and she completed the race in 90 days. I would follow her every day on Instagram, and she was so honest, no filter, and she would share every day with her a community about the day-to-day life about the boat. But you could tell sometimes she would go across terrible weather forecast, and you could see sometimes on her face that she was scared. But then the day after, she would have different weather condition, and you could see how brave she was. So I was so impressed to follow this young woman overcoming all those challenges with so much determination. And she had so many. You always have technical issue about the boat, on top of the harsh weather condition. But she demonstrated exceptional problem-solving skill, resilience. For example, at some point she was dismantling, reassembling her winch system during a storm. She had this ability to adapt, and so much pressure that shows her strength and determination. So I would really watch her every day on her social media, and she's advocating as well for environmental causes. So beyond this sailing accomplishment, Violette d'Orange, she's committed to social and green causes. She had the name of a boat was devenir. It means to become, and she would inspire and empower. She would advocate for renewable energy in sailing, and she would have this dedication for sustainability, which talks to me as well, because my fashion line is also very, very sustainable. So I'm also very conscious about that. And then, you know, you have to say in that type of race, you have more and more women, but the majority is still men. So for me, she would be a role model for aspiring sailors, especially young girls. And she showed such an enthusiasm and passion, perseverance, and purpose. So if her story can encourage others to pursue their dreams, because that she explained that it was her dream since childhood. Although she's only 23 years old, but regardless of all those obstacles, she would finish that race and try to make a positive impact on the world. So I wanted to talk about her.
Amazing. Well, I think I do know this story. I think I didn't follow it the way you did, but I was aware of it. So I've got so much to ask you about this. First of all, what was it like just tracking her every day? I mean, you must have felt quite invested in her and also a little bit worried. Like, you must have felt like every day you needed to get up and check that she was all right. And even though you couldn't communicate with her, like, there must have been some tension there.
Yes, those people are usually very well trained. It's a race that happens every 4 years, so they have teams behind them. So they have support coming from France, but it's only
she's still alone in the ocean, isn't she?
She's still alone in the middle of the world with yes.
Sorry. It sounds to me like, I guess maybe I'm projecting a bit, because I know my daughter's 23. I'm like, what must it be like to be the family of her, knowing that she's in the middle of this ocean by herself, unassisted, only getting advice and support from France, you know, and just also what if this family fed her to be so courageous and have so much, capability and resilience, like you say. It's just amazing, isn't it? I think about myself at 23 and I think, what was I doing? Mostly drinking in the pub with my friends. I mean, that's probably what I did. But nothing would, I can't imagine being that young and that purposeful and that, single-minded to say, this is what I'm going to go and do. It was just amazing. I can see why you've chosen her. But why do you think you were drawn to her in the first place? There's plenty of people to follow in the world. What was it about her specifically that made you interested?
I think the fact she was so young and a woman. So I find this so inspiring for other young girls.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know if you think about the sailing world, and especially that type of race, you would imagine an old man.
Yeah, people who've grown up in the yachting world, maybe.
Thing already, but yeah, she just said it's very inspiring. She just did it. Yeah, she wanted to do it, and she prepared well, and she just managed to finish that race, which was very very inspiring. Yeah.
Well, Violette, how do you say it?
Yes. VioletTE, and her last name is d'Orange, which is very sweet, because her name means, first name means purple and her last name means orange.
Love it. Okay.
Still in a very colorful inspiration. Yes.
Super. All right. I'm going to go and check her out more. Okay. Finale, number 5. Who's it going to be?
My number 5 is Michelle Obama.
Yay! Oh, good. It's about time she made an appearance.
Yes, I was wondering if anybody before me already mentioned her.
No, actually, which is astonishing, really, given who she is and how much influence she's had on us all. But yeah, why is she on your list?
Well, we all love her because she's not only super smart, but she could be like a super cool friend. I mean,
Yeah,
I would love to have her as one of my friends. She can do it all. She can dance on Beyonce's music. But the reason why I like her is she's just like a boss lady, but she still has a big heart. She's coming from the south side of Chicago, and she had this amazing and inspiring journey to the White House. So for me, she just didn't it pretty. She also had big programs to help kids eat better, go to school, to believe in yourself. So she's really like a hype woman, and she also has a fashion sense. She has a lot of style. Let's be honest, she can wear a pantsuit, ball gown every time. You can admire her style. She looks like nobody, really. She's so
uniquely her. Yes.
Absolutely. So also she's very real. She's very genuine. So despite the fame, she talks very openly about anxiety. I think recently she talked about mom guilt, marriage up and down with Barack. She's really trying to balance it all, right? And for me, she could be a friend you would like to have a good dinner or drinks and a nice chat with, which is the reason why I wanted to mention her.
Well, listen, I'm glad she's made the list. She should be on everybody's list. Yeah, I mean, her memoir, Becoming, this is a small claim to fame, Prune, so I'm glad you brought up Michelle Obama. For about 12 hours, her memoir and my memoir were in the top 3 memoirs.
Oh,
because we launched, I've got a photograph of it. I took a screenshot. So on Amazon, I've got a picture of Michelle Obama, then me, and then one of the ladies from the England football team. I can't remember her name now. But anyway, for about 12 hours, it was Michelle Obama and then me next to it. And of course, it was just fleeting because when you launch a book, you can have a big kind of rush of sales in the first day. But then it doesn't, I'm not going to compete with Michelle Obama from then on. But for a very brief second, we were number 1 and number 2.
Congratulations.
No, come on, that's a silly.
I love that story.
Yeah, well, anyway, there's back to Michelle. I mean, she's amazing. She's like, I think everyone who's ever experienced her always talks so fondly of her, and that authenticity thing, that realness. She's got all of Barack Obama's sort of aura and charisma, but just speaks in a way that, I don't know, just connects with people at such a deep level. And when she's just sort of got behind Hillary Clinton and that, it was almost like when Hillary lost, you were like, well, come on, Michelle, then you do it. Your turn. Could you become the next president, please? And I remember a lot of people piling in on that at the time and saying, come on, Michelle, you should run for president. And I think she'd do an amazing job of it, whether it will ever happen. But she's got that quality. She's a natural orator. She's got great, public speaking skills and just a very warm human being and very capable. She's a very capable person in her own right. So I'm glad she's made someone's list Maybe I should make that compulsory from now on. Everyone has to put Michelle Obama in at least once. Well done. All right, good. So listen, that was your 5. An incredible list of some, very diverse people, but one common thread, really, all very accomplished, very brave, very creative, and inspiring women. So a wonderful list. Do you recognize anything in yourself specifically? This is a question I always like to ask my guests. Do you look at those women and see any of their influence directly in you and in how you are and how you think?
I don't know all of them personally, but I'm pretty sure all those ladies must be very curious and joyful and with very positive energy.
You find that attractive, I guess.
Yes, yeah, and I love people that are boosting other. I'm always on the go, for example. So if someone reflects that as well, I'll try to stay around that kind of energy. And what I like as well with all those profiles, they create growth and they have amazing achievements. So yes, that's probably the links between all that.
All right. Well, listen, you know the format, and my next question is always the same as well, which is, you've been influenced by these people, you've taken direct support from some, you've taken sort of arm's length inspiration from others. What do you, and you are doing so much already. It's not like I'm saying, come on, Prune, you better do something. It's more a case of, well, what's next then? Because you're obviously very passionate about your fashion line. You're very passionate sustainability, your NGO. It clearly is your more than just your work. It's something much more profound than that for you. So what do you want to do in terms of taking this all forward? What do you think's next for you?
Look, I've done a few months ago for the first time the London Fashion Week. I did a presentation of my collection on the catwalk. That was wonderful, and I really want to be able to carry on the business side of things in Europe, and at the same time to carry on supporting the NGO and keep this connection with the NGO. Keep spending time with the artisan over there. I don't know how, but for me, the way I think is making this collection season after season to grow and find a better audience here in Europe, especially between London and Paris. So I just hope this will work, and it's sustainable, but there's still a lot of work to be done in the fashion industry for many brands to be more sustainable and to change, but also for clients to change the way they shop, because very sadly a lot of fast fashion is still very much around here. So I don't know if step by step or slowly or even a small part of what I do can help in a way those women in one part of the world, and at the same time make a little change or create an offer for people in the UK and in France. That would be already fantastic.
Well, what I'm hearing there is kind of, you like to do more of the same in some ways, which is just kind of building and growing what you're doing to get a wider audience, get more attention on the work that you're doing. And I want to pick up on that point about fast fashion. I'm really into slow fashion.
Well done.
I've got clothes I wear today that I've bought in my 20s. They're 30-year-old coats and things like that, and they're really nice. I don't, I'm not trying to say they look terrible. They're beautiful pieces. And I have this phrase of buy well, buy once, which I do say quite often to myself and to others. And I truly believe in it. I don't buy a lot of clothing. but the pieces I buy, I love them, and I take good care of them, and wear them so many times until they literally fall apart. And some might say, well, that's because you're very safe with your clothing, maybe. But I also believe in quality. I don't believe in having many things. I just think have the right things and treasure them. So I'm totally
treasure it for time.
Very exciting that you're getting involved with London Fashion Week. That's quite a step up for you, I'd imagine. But what about in terms of your own personal growth and development? You've talked a lot about the qualities of these women that you've listed. Is there anything from them that you want to take as inspiration and say, right, this is a side of myself I really want to develop. I look at these women and I want to be like them in this way.
Everything, I think, everything, life is like a marathon. Everything can be sometimes, to be successful like those women, it takes time. So, for example, for Miss Sunita, it's quality of their achievements or quality of their role and work.
No, their qualities as in who they are. Like, I don't know, say, for example, we went back to Violette. That quality of bravery, perhaps. Is there something in that for you? Do you look at her and think, that's something I'd like to really take forward in my life? I want to be braver. I want to take on more risks or challenges or something. I don't know. I'm trying to get out from you how these women have directly influenced how you are, how you think, how you behave.
Well, this surely shows perseverance, that everything takes time. You can't achieve big things like just like that. So that's also maybe something that I would keep in mind from Violette d'Orange, for example, who's been training and who spent 90 days. From Liane, who's a marathon runner. So to achieve all those amazing races, is also take a lot of commitment and training. And say for Miss Sunita, because she's been dedicated 30 years of her working life for the NGO. So that's something I try to take, like
see that
things takes time to happen. Big achievements takes also time, and let's keep the good work, be genuine, keep your positive energy, surround yourself with people who are also full of positive energy and curious, and that can be booster, and I'm pretty sure things can work like that, because it's good karma.
Absolutely. No, I love that. I think that is a common thread, isn't it? All of these people, which is tenacity. They keep going, just keep going. And, resilience and dedication. And so many people give up on things. Somebody said to me about this podcast, well, how many is it going to be before you say that's enough? I said, I just want to keep going. I mean, every conversation I have enriches me somehow. It makes me happy. And I think if you find something that makes you happy, and clearly what you do makes you happy, obviously, then you just stay with it. And I think sometimes we get distracted. Sometimes we might think that, no one's really paying attention or appreciating what we're doing. But I find when I get like that, something comes out. Someone will call and say, I don't know, I listened to your podcast the other day. I thought it was really interesting when Sophie said this kind of thing, or when Prune said that. And same with your clothing. I'm sure when you get the feedback, when someone says, oh, I love wearing my piece, that you made for me, it makes me feel so, I don't know, special in some way. It just keeps you going, doesn't it? And if you are a creative person, it's very rare, I think, that you can sustain yourself without feedback, because it is so much of yourself is going out into the world. It's such a vulnerable thing to do. And many people don't do it for that reason. They don't want to put themselves out there and risk kind of negative feedback. So when someone's doing something creative, and maybe that's why we spoke in the first time round, Prune, is that I'm attracted to people who are brave like that. I think it's something the world needs. So I'm really pleased to hear that you've come up with that common thread, because it means that you're going to keep going, and that's what you should be doing. So listen, you know the next piece I'm going to say, which is we have to do the we don't have to do it, Prune, but have you thought about who I should speak to next and why?
I really want you to discover the work of this amazing French Parisian fashion designer. And I'd like to recommend Laurence Bras. Bras, it's B-R-A-S. And she has her flagship store opposite les Tuileries, opposite Musée du Louvre in Rue de Rivoli in Paris. And she's the kind of fashion designer who makes you feel like you're wearing a piece of art. And you could also nap in her fashion because her style feels like a hug. But I really wanted to have a French super stylish Parisian fashion designer to introduce to you.
Amazing. What did you say her first name? What's her first name, Prune?
Laurence, Laurence. And her brand is Laurence Bras. So you can check her on online. You'll see her e-boutique and the work she does. She blends Parisian chic with Indian craftsmanship. She creates pieces that are very comfortable, but very, very stylish. And her collection include very lightweight shirts with subtle prints, delicate colors. She has a collection of dresses, sandals, accessories, fashion accessories. So for casual and chic Parisian look, she's the designer I would recommend. She's a storyteller as well through her fashion. She shares on her Instagram about her memories and what's inspired her, and India obviously also inspire her very much. And she's all about quality as well and ethics, which I like. She's committed to producing very high quality garments with ethical practices, and she shares that with her community on her social media. And a part of her collection is made in India, but she also ensures that her designs are accessible, and she really is avoiding fast fashion and in a way promoting sustainability. So there you go.
I love the sound of her. I don't suppose you know her personally, do you?
I know her personally. I'm happy to share her contact details with you if you want.
Even better. Sometimes people tell me at the end of this and say, "Oh, you should meet so and so," and then I speak to them afterwards and I say, "Well, do you actually know that person?" They said, "Oh, no, I just like the sound of them." And I'm like, "Oh, that's like kind of the idea. I don't mind a recommendation, but it's even better when someone actually knows someone, doesn't it?" So if you can introduce me, that would be amazing. I like the sound of her completely. Well, listen, do you know what, Prune? I've really enjoyed this. I know you were a bit apprehensive coming into this about your accent, and obviously French is your first language, and I don't know any French, so that would have been hopeless. I mean, I learned a few words when I was at school, so I would have been, in no way could I have conducted an interview in a second language. So well done for doing an entire interview in your second language. But also, you have such a beautiful accent. It's lovely to listen to. And I think, the stories you've told today of the people you've honoured has been a real joy. It's been such a lovely experience. And you've opened my mind to people I would never have normally thought about, which is another inspiration for why I'm doing this. I want to spread, knowledge about people who don't necessarily always get to be spoken about. And also just to give a platform for compliments to stop for a minute and give compliments about the people that have given us such positive influence. So you've done that so beautifully, and I really want to thank you for taking the time to talk to me today.
Thank you so much to you, Julia, for offering me this opportunity. For me, it was fun. Also, I told you I was a little bit anxious, but it's always good as well to go outside your comfort zone. So,
very well.
Thanks for that.
Well, listen, before you go, why don't we just point the people who are listening here to some of your work? So do you have a website or something that we can just point people to see your fashions?
My website is www.mademoiselleprune.com. And I also have Instagram. People can check for my account, which is studio_mademoiselle_prune, Prune.
You know the average British person won't be able to spell mademoiselle, don't you? Do know that, right?
Mademoiselle, Mademoiselle. Mademoiselle.
And you know what? I'm just going to say one thing. So I've got all of that, and we'll put it in the show notes as well. My audience isn't just British. I was really surprised. We did some, this is only, where am I now in my podcasting journey? I think I'm in season 2 that's out at the moment. And looked at the audience statistics and, just absolutely blown away by the numbers, but more blown away by the breadth of countries that listen to my podcasts. So many different countries, which I just didn't expect. Yeah, so I'm international, Prune. Who knew? But yes, all the French listeners, they will know how to spell it, but everybody else, thank you for that. So listen, thank you again for taking the time. It's been an absolute pleasure. I look forward to following your stories and seeing how your fashion brand grows. And I wish you all the very best with it. And last words from you, Prune. What do you want to say before you?
No, Julia, I just want to wish you as well the very best. And I also keep following your next adventure and keep sharing with us many interesting profiles who are sharing and putting a focus on other people, because it's people, the people are who matters. So thanks for offering a platform and opening our eyes and ears to many, many interesting profiles.
Oh, bless you. Thank you for saying that. All the best now, Prune. See you soon. Bye-bye now.
See you soon. Bye.
That was a wonderful Prune. Prune. I can't do it. I do it now and then. Now and then I get it right and I feel all pleased with myself. But it's Prune, I think, with a R. I hope you enjoyed that. She's absolutely wonderful. Fabulous guest. So on to next week. Next week we have Rachel Shelmerdine. And Rachel's, my first guest who actually contacted me and asked to be on the show. So that was a real thrill. And we've gone on to have a fabulous conversation, which I can't wait to share with you next week. But until then, if you've enjoyed this week's episode, please let me know. Please either, drop me a little note directly or just leave a comment on any of the socials. Just get in touch somehow. I'd love to hear from you. And if you could also like, subscribe, maybe follow or share the show, it really does help me build my audience. And I really, really appreciate it. So until next week, when I introduce you to Rachel, have a great week ahead. And I'll see you then. Bye-bye now.